Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, please take a moment to do that now. All right, so here we are down to the last short story in From the Dust Return, Ray Bradbury's 2001 fix-up novel about the very strange supernatural Elliot family. So it all comes down to this. Chapter 23, The Gift. Dwight William Alcott is looking over some photos of a dig outside of Karnak in Egypt when his assistant suddenly disturbs him, informing him that there is a boy at the door and that he should let him in. That boy is none other than Timothy, our little protagonist from throughout the book, and he's carrying with him Neph, the mummy, his great-great-grandmother, as he calls her, 1,000 times removed, who has been here since the beginning of these stories. Timothy comes in carrying Neph, his mummy, grandmother again, lays her across a couple of seats, and he reveals to him that she's 4,400 years old, and she's witnessed 900 million deaths that were sort of the necessary history taking place to sort of make way for them to exist now in this moment in the world. He tells the man that she talks, and that if you listen closely, she's very quiet. You can learn to hear what she has to say as well. And for some reason, he just feels so inclined to believe the boy. They share a glass of wine, a strange thing to share with a child. Timothy then offers Neph to his museum. The curator must then agree to a few stipulations. First of all, he must give Timothy a pass to visit her at any time that he wants, and also the curator must stop once a day and talk to her and listen to hear what she has to say. He asks then, is she talking now? And Timothy says, yes, indeed she is. Come closer and you will hear. And then we end the note and the story in the book on the note of you hear a faraway wind blowing through Karnak. I would say this is a pleasing, if somewhat open-ended conclusion to From the Dust Return. These stories have their origin in Ray Bradbury's childhood in the early 1900s, and then he first came sort of to the page in the mid-1940s when he began writing these tales, before finally bringing the whole little universe together in 2001. It somehow feels... while there is a sense of finality, there isn't also an open-endedness to a point where you could imagine this curator having discussions, learning new revelations about Egypt that had been forgotten and sort of sharing them with the world, or perhaps Timothy himself, the writer, going on and writing stories and sharing his information quite in the same way that Ray Bradbury has as a fictional writer. I love that Timothy, the boy, the writer in the family, is passing something on of his family, which is now scattered by the fire and by circumstances. And sort of there's this idea that, the supernatural, mystical, legendary side of the earth has faded, has diminished, but yet there's still something of surviving through him and through Neph. I love the man's willingness to believe the boy and their sharing of a glass of wine, which again seems strange, but I think it's intended as a sign of Timothy growing up, maturing, and that moment when a young person who has found themselves surrounded by adults their entire life suddenly begins to feel as if they're entering a more adult stage of their life and sort of becoming something new, and where their opinions begin to count among the adult opinions of the world. So, all right, there you have it, The Gift, Chapter 23 of From the Dust Returned. This has been fun. Prior to this, I'd taken about 15 months off from Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, and I always intended to come back, continue reviewing his short stories and his other works, and eventually, hopefully, reviewing all 600 some odd short stories that he ever wrote. It's going to be another break before we come back to the show again, but rest assured I will come back and continuing what I started. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get the channel back a little bit towards normal, cover more news and things like that. We're going to let this part of the channel rest like a mummy once again for a while before we pick up Ray Bradbury at some other point down the road. All right then. Thank you for subscribing or for watching. Please subscribe, and until next time, keep it creepy.